All right, and it is Friday the 13th here at 4 o'clock, and the Yankees have completed a trade for left-handed pitcher Nestor Cortez. For right-handed pitcher Devin Williams to pitch out of the bullpen. Devin Williams is an all-star closer coming from the Milwaukee Brewers. The Yankees sent Nestor and Caleb Durbin to the Brewers to get this deal done. I honestly think this is a fantastic deal for the Yankees. Number one, with all the woes that the Yankees had last year with Clay, this is the perfect fit, I think. You got a pitcher who is a two-time All-Star. I know the postseason record's a little scary, but that's a small sample size of only 3 games. And he was tipping pitches. So here is the resume from the 2024 season. He was on the IL, important to note. He was on the injured list for the first about half of the year for 2024 with a lower back stress fracture. But it's a part of the lower back that could become worrisome in the future, but I guess high risk, high reward. He pitched in 21 games. He only gave up, it says 8 home runs. He only gave up 3 home runs. I'm sorry. 8 home runs was Mark Leiter Jr. 3 home runs. He struck out 38. So one of the things the Yankees wanted to improve on heading into 2025 was the strikeouts. Not the strikeouts, excuse me. Was the strikeout ability from the back end of the bullpen. And Devin Williams allows you to do so. So I love this deal. I think this is a deal that they had to make. They're really trying to strengthen. What it sounds like to me, they're trying to strengthen the pitching staff. The Yankees are, and it seems like this is the way to go. By signing Devin Williams, this is the way to go. Devin Williams is a perfect fit here in the Bronx. 3 home runs. He only gave up 10 hits in 21 2/3 innings. He only walked 3. He blew 1 save, and then he blew the big save in the playoffs when Alonso took him oppo. It'll be fun to see, how his pitches. He's a changeup guy, kind of like Hanley, dominates lefties. It'll be cool to see how this plays out in the postseason and in Yankee Stadium, especially because we all know Yankee Stadium and that short porch. Actually, I'm gonna pull up and see where his outs landed in Yankee Stadium because this is a big move. Obviously, we all have the news now that the Cubs have traded for Kyle Tucker with the Astros. The Yankees were not, I guess, in deep talks. It was never really close because the Yankees were unwilling to part with both Luis Gil and George Lombard Jr. You can't get on the Yankees because as bad as it sounds, and it's like this was going to be the closest thing. Number one, there's no guarantee you get an extension done with him. And number two, it might be easier for us to just go after him in spring training or even at the deadline. I think they were willing to part with Gil. I know Jack Curry tweeted out they were not going to part with Gil. They didn't want to part with Gil. I don't know if I believe that. I think that they were willing to part with Gil. And they just didn't do it. Brian Cashman did say that they have been often discussing that trade with the Brewers. That's not finalized. It seems like they really wanted it. It seems like this is a very good trade for the Yankees. I'm trying to figure out where his outs are. Devin. I'm trying to figure out how Devin Williams outs play in Yankee Stadium. More so, I don't want him to be giving up bombs in Yankee Stadium. Because as bad as Clay Holmes was, for the most part, it was weak contact getting through the awful infield of the Yankees, not giving up home runs. He didn't give up a ton of home runs. Apparently now the Yankees are heavily linked to pivot to Alex Bregman. I don't want that. I don't want that at all. I think Alex Bregman would be just a disaster for the Yankees. It just wouldn't go well. That would be a disaster for the Yankees. And Luis Heel wants to be here. He wants to be here. I think that it was smart. Obviously, if they had traded for Kyle Tucker and part of what Luis Heel, we would have missed him. But I think that it would have been worth it. Now, on the flip flop, now that we have Devin Williams and part ways with Cortez, then there's no reason that we need to get rid of Kyle Tucker. That we need to get rid of Luis Heel. I think he should just slot right into that rotation. MLB Network did post the Yankees are not done by a long shot. I do think Cody Bellinger is high on the list. We'll see if that gets to the finish line. Now, I did see that they're, I guess, about $10 million apart, the Yankees and the Cubs, in terms of Bellinger. The reason is the Cubs are reluctant to take on the whole deal, and the parts that they want to take on, the Yankees are like chipping more money. I could totally see now that the Yankees did not complete this trade, them actually saying to the Cubs, hey, we'll take on the X amount. We'll send you Will Warren and Trent Grisham if you send us Cody Bellinger and Nico Horner. Now, I know a lot of people are like, don't get Bellinger, don't get Bellinger. I think Cody Bellinger would be the perfect fit for Yankee Stadium. If you look at the stats, Cody Bellinger's OPS was dreadful at Wrigley Field because of the Wrigley Field factor. His bat to ball skills just don't play in that park with everything going on there. It was taken into account his factors at Yankee Stadium. He would have like 4 or 5 more home runs. I know you only play 81 games at Yankee Stadium, but he would have 4 or 5 more home runs. The park factor would be higher. He would also be able to slap hits more around the field, and his OPS would go from 750 to almost 800 and even higher than 800. He gives you defensive versatility because no matter where he plays defensively, he's very good. He can play a very good defensive first base. He can play a very good defensive outfield at probably all 3 positions. It seems like the Yankees are adamant about letting Dominguez play, which I think is just a fantastic idea. I think they didn't give Dominguez the runtime, and I would like to see him get the runtime he deserves. Because if he keeps getting good runtime, and you never know what he could be. So apparently Brian Cashman said that they'll stay in the marketplace for a second or third baseman. I'm actually going to share my screen. Let me get this up. Let me get the 2 things that Cashman just said up. So this is according to Brian Hoke. This is from SMY. Let me make sure you can see this. You can. All right, so this is on X. Let me play.
Just in general terms, how long has Williams been on your radar? How did this all come together for you?
We've been talking to Milwaukee about Devin for feels like years. Whether it's previous years, it feels like every.
All right, I'm going to stop there for a second. So it seems like they've had long interest, and they were like, let's just get this deal done now because we kind of need a closer. I love Luke Weaver. I am a huge, I actually bought his jersey on Fanatics when he became the closer heading into the postseason, before all the ferocious Jungle Cat stuff came out, I was very high on Luke Weaver being the closer since July because I had no faith in Clay Holmes. I was so high on him. I am happy though that they went and did this move because I think you couldn't have him close after what he did last year and then that leave a sour taste in the Yankee fans' mouth. Because I think Luke is an amazing 7th and 8th inning guy. You're pretty much playing a 5 or 6 inning game now, especially if Loizaga is healthy coming in April. So let's hear the rest of this in the next
pre-trade deadline, every spring training, we've had conversation with those guys, which have continued. It's nice to find a match.
Just in general terms, how long has Williams been on your radar?
And the next one is
Durbin. And now with him out of the picture, do you feel that you need to go get a second or third baseman? I know that you've been looking all along at all the options, and he's a rookie, but now that he's not one of the options, can you go into spring training counting on Peraza or DJ to potentially be a starter, or do you need something else?
You got Cabrera also, and so we're just going to stay in the marketplace. But it definitely was a consideration that wasn't easy to navigate at first. We have vacancies there in the infield, and Durbin has emerged as a legitimate candidate that we considered. So we had to weigh, leaving that lane for him versus acquiring someone to the level of Devin Williams. And right or wrong, we just felt it was harder to acquire someone at the level of Devin Williams than it would be to try to figure out infield circumstances. And I don't belittle how important infield is because it is. And, we need to get some strong defense and quality offense and all that stuff. But it's not as easy to find guys running around of the stature of Devin Williams. So you have to give to get. And so right now our internal candidates are who they are. You've named them all, and I reminded you about Cabrera, and we'll see how the rest of our conversations continue on the free agent and trade market.
Speculation on the outside. Would you bring in a key player from the 2017 Astros? I know he's a great player and available. Does his history of who he was with factor at all into your decision on whether you guys would bring him in?
My job is to find a way to make us, as quality as we can year in and year out. So we're going to vet every opportunity out there. And first and foremost, find out if that can match. He's really he's been a thorn in our side for years, along with a lot of other people's side. He's now into free agency. I'm sure he's got a whole boatload of choices, and really good players like him make a lot of money. And, so I have had a conversation or two with Scott Boras. I'll acknowledge that with a lot of his clients, including Alex Bregman. Certainly respect the player and his ability and how much winning he's been a part of. But that's about as far as I will say at this point.
I had a much better feeling on this team a couple of days ago. I don't have the best feeling on this team right now, especially after hearing what Cashman just had to say. That leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I'm hoping that there's more of what he has to say in a second. Maybe he says something else that's more positive, but it's sounding like he wants to play the kids. That's just not going to work. If they're just going to be like, we'll just play the kids, it doesn't matter, that's just not going to happen. That's not going to work, and that's not going to bring a championship. Now, someone else just tweeted something out. The Yankees told us a month ago Caleb Durbin was favorite infielder ever and will actually take Cashman at face value when he mentions DJ as a second base candidate. So, DJ Cashman's either has a poker face on, which is what I hope is happening, because if the move is going to be for him to go out and get this, to go out and play the kids, that's not what we need to do. I saw someone put out, I don't know how real it is, that the Yankees are close on Bellinger. It's someone's just tweeted back at me. It's pending medical. I haven't heard that. I heard first that it was about 20 mil apart, 10 mil apart, excuse me. But I don't know if they've made headway since that was put out. That was put out a while ago by Heyman. I don't know what the move is here. So it's going to be an interesting offseason, I think, to say the least. I think there's a lot of moves left for the Yankees to make. I don't know what this team's going to look like breaking camp. I really hope that DJ LeMahieu is not going to be the starting first or second or third baseman. I think that'd be an awful move. I can see it. I can see it, though. That's the scary thing is I see LeMahieu being the starting second baseman. I said to my dad the other night. I said, watch, they're going to have some prospect. It was Durbin, maybe now it's Cabrera. And it's going to be like, oh, Cabrera, he's, we're going to do it. And then DJ has like a solid spring. It's like, you know what? We're going to put him on the bench. We're going to trade him. And then we're just going to play DJ. And that's just going to be a nightmare. I hope that's the move. And I don't know. I mean, I know they had serious conversations about Tucker. Yeah. So he did mention that they have other opportunities in the marketplace. So hopefully he's just keeping his cards close to his chest here because he doesn't want to give another team an advantage, which I could totally see. I heard rumblings about the Yankees and Bregman from the sound of what Cashman said. Thank God I don't think they want him. I also heard that now there's mutual, and this could actually relate to what he was saying about he spoke to other Scott Boras people, that there's mutual interest for Alonso. Here's what I have to say about this. I don't think Alonso wants to be a Met. I've seen things. There was the Heyman article yesterday that was worded very weird. Let me see if I can pull that up in a second. But while I look, it was worded very, very weird, where it's like he has interest in the Mets only if the Yankees have interest in him. Like, it was very weird. I'm going to get the exact wording and pull it up in a second. Because I'm reading this and I'm like, what does this even mean? It just it didn't make sense to me. And I'm like, wait. And in my head, I'm like, does this mean he thinks it's a slap in the face that, the Mets went out and got Soto before getting him? And I said this before the offseason. Maybe it's this one. I said this before the offseason. I wouldn't be surprised if Soto and the Mets do not unite. It's behind a paywall. Try it free. Let's see. Continue. Come on. This is stupid. I think Devin Williams in the changeup is good, but I really want to know, I think I've had enough with the pitching. I just want to know what they're doing with the fielding. I mean, with the offense and field, all that stuff, that needs to be done. That they need to make a move, if not two moves, by next week. I think Bellinger's coming. I think at this point, it's a matter of when, not how. Heyman said earlier that the Yankees are strong favorites for him. That he might want to be here. Him and Judge also have a great relationship, which I like. I posted that video on my platforms yesterday about after the Hold on, this is from Cashman. Hold on, we have another Cashman quote.
Is it on your mind that with no left-handed relievers on the 40-man roster to try to fill that void now versus waiting for later in the offseason?
Like anything else, it just takes two to tango. You got to find the right matches. And so, yes, I mean, a great thing about whether it's Weaver, whether it's Williams, whatever, if you have right-handers that can neutralize lefties, that's a benefit. It limits your desperation, so to speak, for immediately a left on left, but that doesn't negate that our interest is there. And there are some players on this marketplace that we're interested in, and we'll stay engaged with them via trade or free agency. But ultimately, as I said, the job's not done yet. We have more to do, and hopefully we can run into some opportunities that make sense for two sides, because it's either matching with an agent or matching with an opposing club. And I hope to have more Zoom calls with you all at some point, to talk about something else. So.
Oh, it's interesting. And the phone rings. All right. Well, that could just be like, get me the hell off this Zoom call. I find it interesting that his phone rang right there. I really think that this is such a great chance for the Yankees to really do something. So now that Cashman quote made me more positive to where we're heading. I know it was about pitching, but still, I don't think Luis Heel would have gotten that deal done. I honestly think, if you want my honest opinion, I really don't think Houston was trading with the Yankees. And I mean, honestly, I kind of understand why. I kind of understand why Houston wouldn't want to trade with the New York Yankees because of, everything. The Yankees, and, at any chance he has gotten, Brian Cashman has said something. Okay, hold on. This might be the article. Mets lineup, there's Alonso. No, we think we're still engaged. Okay, we think he's a great bat and we're still engaged. We hope he stays, is what Cohen had to say. I'm going to go to that other article I thought I found from Heyman, because it might be in there. Heyman hasn't published this is like Alonso, like he's done for like literally everyone else, so he's making this hard for me. But there was something, I think it was in the Freed one, where it was like the Yankees have more to do. And, Alonso has interest. Let's see. Cody Bellinger, they're looking into Walker. Nothing been done there. Santander, they've mentioned. I personally want nothing with a capital N to nothing to do with Anthony Santander. I think that's just not a good fit for the Yankees. This is my favorite quote. Juan Soto's record contract gives him number 22 alongside unusual things. They better win or he'll just be the Aaron Rodgers of Queens. That's pretty funny. And all this stuff hyped up about, the security guard and stuff like that. I don't know how much I believe that. I'm sure something did happen. I'm not sure how much of that really did play in to this, because you know what? You wouldn't make that deal. So Thursday Mets, Soto, Cohen. Every time Cohen. I just want to see that there was something from Heyman that said, no, it was such a weird quote. Maybe it was this one. Oh, no, that's the same one. I'm going to type in Pete Alonso into X and see if I can find it. If any of you guys know what I'm talking about, just drop it in the chat. Let me see. I know Heyman, it was either Heyman or Sherman that put something out in terms of Pete Alonso. I know the Yankees are interested, I guess, to an extent. Last week, no. Let's see. Pete Alonso, Yankees. The Yankees are considering him for Plan B. Could he still return to the Mets? Okay, here it is from Bleacher Report. Maybe it was them. Where's the actual quote? I'll share it in a second. I'm just trying to find the actual quote. Where is it? Yeah, Heyman reported Wednesday. Okay, here it is. Okay, Heyman reported Wednesday that Alonso is said to have some interest in going to the Yankees if the Mets never seriously engage with him. Okay, so I guess then he had a typo because the one I saw was not that. It looked differently. It was like, if the Mets have interest, I want to go to the Yankees. That's the one that I saw. So I guess that was wrong. So I guess Heyman did have a typo. That makes a lot more sense to me. I do see him probably going back to the Mets. I don't know what his fit would be on this team. I don't know how well he would fit on this team, to be honest. Aside from just getting him to get back with the Mets, I see if the Yankees can get Alonso. Let me see, show it. Yeah. If the Yankees can get Alonso and Belkin, and Bellinger. What's up? What's up, Daniel? Yeah, I think Alonso and Bellinger would be a great thing. I think that'd be awesome for the Yankees. I really think that if they can get Bellinger as well, I think Bellinger's coming. I don't know about Alonso. I haven't heard much about Alonso around the Yankees. I think it would be a fantastic idea for them to go out and get him, but you never really know. So hopefully they get a deal done with Bellinger so we have something to go off of offensively, and we'll go from there. So obviously, if there's any major breaking news tonight into tomorrow or all weekend, I'll do my best to go live about 15 to 30 minutes after. Follow me on social media on Instagram, Facebook, Threads, X, and Blue Sky. I'm not really high on Blue Sky, but it's up there. I have an account on there. And we'll go live next time something big happens. So I hope you all have a great weekend, and we'll see you soon. Oh, hold on, one last thing. Apparently, according to Brian Cashman, the decision to have Devin Williams or Luke Weaver be the closer is up to Aaron Boone. All in quotes, all I care about is closing games down, shortening the game. Who's doing it and when they're doing it, that's going to be for the manager and our coaching staff to figure out. So, there we go. All right. I'll let you guys go. Thank you so much and have a great day. Please subscribe to my channel. Follow me on social media. We'll go live next time something big happens, which is probably going to be Cody Bellinger. Bye.